I'm Marcel Masaga, AI engineer, 5X founder, and fractional CTO. For over 20 years, I've built real-world AI systems, from diagnostic tools used in East African clinics to bootstrapped startups that won global awards. I've mentored founders, advised investors, and served on 5 global AI ethics bodies, all to answer one question: how do we build AI that doesn't just work, but matters? This is the Global AI Engineer, where we cut through the hype, think deeper, and build wiser in the age of artificial intelligence.
All right, let's get right into it. I want to start with a story that really fundamentally changes how we have to think about artificial intelligence. Picture this: a clinic in Nairobi just last year. An AI flags a patient's scan and marks it as high risk, but not for any reason the doctors could actually see, not because of a tumor or some known pattern. It flagged it for a reason nobody could explain.
The system's explanation? It just felt wrong. That's literally the description it gave. No rule, no precedent it could point to. For all intents and purposes, it was a hunch. So you can imagine the team, right? They're looking at this totally unexplainable alert, and they have a huge choice to make. Do we trust this machine's feeling, or do we trust what our own eyes are telling us?
Well, they took a leap of faith. They trusted the AI, and you know what? It was dead right. Turned out the patient had this super rare, aggressive cancer that the doctors were this close to missing. I was actually part of that team, and standing there in that moment, it hit me. We've crossed some kind of line here. AI isn't just a calculator anymore, you know? It's not just following rules. It's starting to make these intuitive leaps, and honestly, that changes everything. So when I say AI intuition, what are we actually talking about here? It's really important to be clear. This is not consciousness. We're not talking about emotions or feelings. What it is this emergent ability that these massive deep learning models have. They can recognize patterns that are so incredibly subtle, so complex, that they are literally invisible to the human eye. The best analogy I can give you is a chess grandmaster, right? They just know a move feels right, but they can't always explain the step-by-step logic. Now imagine that same kind of knowing, but scaled across billions of data points, all happening inside a machine. And this, right here, brings us to the biggest challenge. The central conflict, really, of modern AI. It's what I call the black box paradox. The more powerful these systems become, the better they get at making these incredible, sometimes life-saving, intuitive leaps, the less we can actually explain how they're doing it. It's this fundamental trade-off. Do you want peak performance, or do you want to understand what's going on? Let's break that down. It's this constant push and pull. On one side, you have incredible performance. The ability to find these tiny patterns to exceed human accuracy. It's amazing. But on the other side of the coin, you lose transparency. We can't trace the logic. We can't really audit the hunch. And right now, the industry is almost always choosing performance. And we have to be honest with ourselves. In doing that, we are giving up a certain amount of control and understanding. And look, this isn't just some academic debate. The stakes here are incredibly high, and the consequences are real. We've already seen the damage an opaque black box can do out in the world. We're talking about hiring algorithms that penalize resumes just because they have names that sound female, or lending AIs that deny loans based on zip codes, which are just a proxy for race. Even in the justice system, we've got risk assessment tools recommending harsher sentences for people from marginalized communities. And the excuse is always the same. Well, the model said so. That's not accountability. That's just putting automation on autopilot and hoping for the best. So, that's the problem. It's a big one. If we can't fully understand these systems, what on earth can we do about it? Well, the good news is we're not totally flying blind here. Researchers are coming up with some really powerful new ways to start peeking inside the machine. And that brings us to this really important field called Explainable AI, or you'll hear it called XAI. This is a super critical movement in the industry. It's basically a group of people demanding that our AI systems be more than just accurate. They also have to be understandable to the humans who actually have to rely on them. So how does it work? Let me give you the simple version. After an AI spits out a decision from its black box, you can apply these special tools. You might hear names like LIME or SHAP. And what they do is they kind of work backward. They analyze the whole process to highlight which specific pieces of data, like which pixels in that medical scan, or which words on a resume, had the biggest influence on the final decision. It's kind of like shining a spotlight on the exact things the AI was paying attention to. But, and this is a big but, even these really powerful tools have their limits. They kind of hit a brick wall when you get to true intuition. See, XAI can tell us what the AI looked at. It can show us the influential factors, but it can't tell us why. Why did the model learn over time that this specific, subtle pattern was so important? When a decision isn't based on simple, clean logic, but on this complex, emergent intuition, well, even XAI struggles to give us the complete story.
This reality, this limitation, means we need a whole new way of thinking about this, a new framework for our relationship with these machines. We absolutely have to stop treating AI like some kind of all-knowing oracle, whose answers we just have to accept without question.
And this means we need a fundamental shift in our mindset. The dangerous path, the one we're sort of drifting towards, is seeing AI as a judge, fully automated, focused on replacing people for efficiency and demanding our blind faith. The future we need to build is one where AI is treated more like a consultant. What does that look like? It means always keeping a human in the loop for verification. It means the goal isn't replacement, but augmentation, using AI to give us better insights. And it means trust isn't blind, it's verified by evidence. This is exactly the model we used in my work on the SIH AI project. We never treated the AI as the final judge. We saw it as an expert consultant. We respected its intuition for sure, but we always audited its recommendations.
And all of this leads to the final and maybe the most critical question that we as a society have to figure out. As these incredibly intuitive systems get woven deeper and deeper into our lives, into our hospitals, our banks, our courts, we have to decide on accountability. When an AI's hunch saves a life, who gets the credit? And, maybe more importantly, who gets the blame when that hunch is wrong? It's a question we all need to start asking. I'm Marcel Masaga. Thanks for being part of the Global AI Engineer. Until next time, think deeper, build wiser, lead with courage.